Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another Vlogmas video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I've learned since I've turned 21. 21 things I've learned since being 21. But before we get into it, I'm going to need you to do me a favor and subscribe down below. And make sure you hit the bell button right next to it. That way you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. Be sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This video is going to be a little bit long. I'm going to be talking a lot. So grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's kiki. I have my iPad right here for reference because I did write down a couple things that I have learned over the past 2 decades and a year I have been on this earth. I've been on this earth for 21 years, which kind of seems like not a long time, but at the same time it is a long time. Like, I know I'm still young, but I still feel kind of old. Like, I don't know. As I was writing a couple of these things down yesterday night when I knew I wanted to film this video, I kind of got emotional while I was writing it down, and I'm really hoping I don't get emotional in this video. So if I do, just bear with me. So the first thing I want to say is that all you have in this life is yourself. And not to be rude or anything, but at the end of the day, that just is what it is. And you always want to make sure that you put yourself first in everything. I struggle with this a lot to this day. I still struggle with this, putting people before me. I have a bad tendency to put everyone before myself, and then I find myself overwhelmed, I find myself upset, I find myself broken because I literally spent no time on myself. I spent all this time on other people. And do you think those people are spending all this time on me? Like, no. So you always want to put yourself first because you can't control, you know, others. You can't control other people. So it's very important you just put yourself first in everything you do. The next thing I want to say is no matter what you've been through, you can overcome. And I say this for a variety of reasons. A lot of times when we're going through a trial or a tribulation in our life, sometimes it feels like, you know, this thing is just consuming you, and that, you know, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get over this? But you will eventually. And it's not always the next day, it's not always the next year. Sometimes it's a process, but no matter what you've been through in this life, you can overcome it. And as long as you make that choice to see it through, you can overcome anything. And that's on period.
Period! 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 Period!
The next thing I have is set boundaries. And when I say set boundaries, don't only set boundaries for others, but set boundaries for yourself, if anything. Especially me, I'm one of those type of people who did not set boundaries for myself. And I constantly found myself going above and beyond for other people. And then when I didn't get the same in return, I would always kind of feel away. But it's like nobody told you to go and above and beyond for these people. You know, I didn't set those boundaries for myself. So then I end up hurting myself in the end. So it's super important to just set boundaries, and then also setting boundaries with other people, because people will cross boundaries and cross lines, especially if they don't even know they exist, if they don't know what the boundaries are. So it's super important in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, you know, you and your parents, you and your boyfriend, no matter who it is, it's super important to set boundaries, because if people don't know, then they're gonna cross them, and then they're gonna hurt you, or you're gonna end up hurting yourself if you don't set boundaries. The next thing I have is the only thing you can control in this life is yourself. So going back to my first point, literally everything in this life is out of your control. The only thing you can control is you. You can't control how other people act. You can't control what happens in the world. The only thing you can control is yourself. And this is something I really struggled with growing up, because I'm a little bit of a control freak, one, and then two, when things don't work out the way I want them to, I would get super upset and heated. But it's like, you can't plan out every little thing. Even if you do, like, it's still out of your control, you know. So the only thing I really can control is myself and how I react and respond to situations. And once I started like seeing life through that lens, life became a lot easier for me, and I was getting hurt a lot less. The next thing I have here is life is too short. 2020 was the year where I really realized like life is so short. Life is precious. Growing up, I couldn't wait to be an adult. I couldn't wait to go to college. I couldn't wait to be on my own. But adulthood is not it. Like 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Enjoy your youth while it lasts. Because before you know it, you'll be 21, then you'll be 40, then you'll be 60, then you'll be 80, then you'll be 100, and then who knows? So, and that's even if you get to see all those years, because literally people my age have been dropping dead like this. Like, so much goes on in this crazy world. So please remember that life is short. If there's anything you want to do, just do it, go for it, because you truly never know when your last day on this earth is. The next one I have, number 6, not everyone is your friend. This is something that I learned pretty early on in life, but I do want to share it because not everyone is your friend. Friend is a term that I do not use loosely at all, because at the end of the day, people, they might seem like your friend, they might act like your friend, but deep down inside, they're not. Be very, very, very mindful of who you call a friend, because let me tell you, there are people who are your friends, but they will talk all types of mess about you behind your back. They will not support you. They will watch you accomplish things and just be spectators and not even congratulate you. The list goes on and on and on. And if you find yourself, you know, calling these people your friends and they're doing all these things to you, you're gonna end up hurting yourself at the end of the day, not them. You're gonna be hurting you. So you wanna be super, super mindful of who you call a friend. So the next thing I have is number 7. No matter what you do, people will hate. And I'm saying this to say, like, literally no matter what you do on this earth, someone is going to say something. Like, someone is going to find something negative and try and make you look like a bad person. Someone's going to hate on you. Someone's going to be jealous of you. Someone is always going to do something no matter what you do. Literally, Jesus Christ himself was a perfect human, and people still found a way to hate on this man. So literally, with that being said, like I said earlier, just do what you want to do in this life. Life is too short to be worrying about, oh, what people are gonna say, da 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 da. Because no matter what you do, even if you're the most perfect human, someone will have something to say. So live your life, sis. Number 8. Write down your goals. I think writing down your goals or things that you want to achieve is super, super important. And it's such an amazing feeling when you have something to refer to and look back to. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, new year, write down all my goals. Like, whenever you have any type of goal for yourself, write it down. Before you know it, before your eyes, you will accomplish that goal. I'm telling you, like, there's just something in the power of writing things down. So I would say write down your goals, write down anything you want for yourself, anything you want to achieve, and I'm telling you, you will achieve it. And like I said, like, that moment of being able to, you know, refer back to where you wrote down a goal and you accomplish it is priceless. The next thing, number 9, be kind to yourself, especially in a world full of so much negativity, so much animosity. Because if you're not kind to yourself and the world is not kind, then you're just constantly going to be, you know, surrounded by negativity. So it's super, super important to just, you know, be nice to yourself. I like to say to myself is like, you know, be your own best friend. Take yourself out, you know, spoil yourself a little bit here and there. Do something that makes you feel good. Woo, almost got teary-eyed there, child. Number 10. Prioritize your mental health. I feel like a lot of us learned that mental health is super, super important. You know, you can't be the complete version of yourself if you're not there mentally. You can be there physically, but you won't be, you know, you if you're not there physically and mentally. And I feel like a lot of times we forget about our mental health, but our mental health impacts us in so many different ways that you don't even know. So I would just say, always, you know, make your mental health a priority and take care of it. Number 11, know your worth and add tax, baby. Okay. This is one of my favorite quotes but it's so true. A lot of things that people allow to happen in their life is because they don't know their worth. Obviously, you can't control everything that happens in your life, but the things that are within your control, it's super important to know your worth and add tax, because baby, you are expensive, you are priceless plus the tax. When you know your worth, I'm telling you, it radiates. Other people will know your worth. Other people will see it, they'll know your worth. They'll know, you know what, that girl, I ain't gonna mess with her, because they already know. But people won't know unless you know, if that makes sense. So know your worth, baby girl, and add tax. Number 12, it is okay to take breaks. And I say this because I am one of those people who would place a lot of my self-worth on how productive I was. So when I wasn't feeling productive, I would feel like terrible. I would feel guilty for not doing something and always being super busy. I'm one of those people who used to add a lot of things to their plate, like just add to my plate, and then I would be burnt out, like burnt out, and then that would reflect poorly on my mental health, and it would just be a cycle of the same thing. So it is okay to lessen your plate. It is okay to step back from something and take a break, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Put pause, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is okay, and I'm telling you, your mental health will thank you. There's nothing like taking a break and just being refreshed and coming back feeling good to a task, you know? The 13th thing I've learned since turning 21 is you are beautiful. And I'm talking to you watching, and I'm talking to myself as well. For a long time, like pretty much until this year, I never considered myself to be beautiful. I never thought I was beautiful. I thought I was ugly. And then, you know, these things would just take a toll on me and my mental, and it was just like super toxic, and I was mean to myself because I thought I was ugly. This year, amongst all the drama, one thing I did learn was that I am beautiful, okay? I am gorgeous, I am stunning. I have flaws, but I'm still flawless, baby. And I'm telling you, the more you say it, the more you will believe it. And even when I don't have makeup on, even if I don't have my hair done, even if my nails aren't done and my eyebrows are looking crooked, baby, I am still beautiful. And that's on what? Period. Number 14. Sometimes things don't work out, and that is okay. This is something that I struggled with so much, especially like I mentioned earlier. I'm kind of a control freak. I'm a type A personality. I plan everything out to a T. So when things don't work out, it would leave me feeling super defeated and upset and sad and frustrated. But that, unfortunately, is just how life is. Like, sometimes things just don't work out the way we want them to, and it is okay. Like, it is not the end of the world. And I feel like once I accepted that, I started living a much happier life. It alleviated a lot of the stress I used to face. Because the 15th thing I've learned is you are not your trauma. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I said earlier. Like, you know, a lot of the trauma you go through, especially when you're younger, when you're a child, you couldn't control that. You know, it's sad that it happened to you, but you couldn't control that. What you can control is, you know, how you perceive yourself afterwards, how you know, heal, how you grow from all of that trauma. And it took me a while to get here, but I am here, and I know that I'm not what I've been through. Like, yeah, that happened to me, but that doesn't define me. What defines me is how I've overcome it. What defines me is how it's made me stronger. What defines me is how it's made me wiser. You know, that's what I am, not my trauma. Number 16, don't compare yourself, be you. That quote that says comparison is the thief of joy is so accurate. When you compare yourself to people, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be satisfied. And like I said, it all goes back to you cannot control what people around you do. All you can do is control yourself. If you see someone doing something that you want to do and you sit there and compare like, dang, I wish I was like that, the only person you're hurting is yourself. What you can do is use that as motivation so you can push yourself to get to, you know, whatever goal or whatever it is that that person has that you might want. but sitting there comparing yourself, it doesn't do you any good. It's more so a waste of time, and it's just hurting your own self. So be yourself, make your own lane. I feel like social media has made it so easy for people to sit there and just compare themselves to people. But let me tell you something, social media is fake. It is a lie. Please don't believe the hype of what you see on social media. Be yourself. You are good enough. You are good enough. If no one's told you that today, you are good enough. There is no need for you to compare yourself to anybody. Number 17. Focus on what makes you happy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to be sad all the time. I'm not trying to be upset all the time. I want to be happy. I love the emotion of happiness. And if there's something that makes me happy and something that makes me sad, which one would I focus on? The one that makes you happy. Number 18. You don't have to prove or explain yourself to anybody. If anything, I like to keep people guessing. You can do whatever you want and you don't have to explain. If people don't understand, that is on them. That is not on you. I feel like a lot of times it's so easy to live your life for other people, especially unintentionally. Sometimes we live our lives for our parents or maybe a boyfriend, maybe a friend, someone. But at the end of the day, when you are living your true authentic self, that's all that matters. If people don't understand, that's on them, but you don't have to explain. Number 19. Hold yourself accountable. This is something, I'm not gonna lie, I did struggle with this for a lot, especially when you're in a situation when there's conflict and you want people to see your side, and no one ever thinks that they're wrong. Like, people always think that they're right, that their side is the right side. They want everybody to believe their side, but at the end of the day, it takes two to tango. You have to always acknowledge and hold yourself accountable in situations, because there are times where you may be wrong. You might be the person in the wrong. You might hurt someone else intentionally or unintentionally. But what matters is holding yourself accountable. It's not always about pointing the fingers. Oh yeah, this person did this to me and this person did that to me. Okay, but what did you do to that person? How did you make that person feel? I feel like that's super important, especially when you are trying to grow and just become more self-aware. You can't do that without holding yourself accountable. Like, yes, I'm sorry, I made this mistake, I did that and I was wrong. I feel like it's so hard for people, and pride makes it super difficult for people to say, I'm sorry, I messed up, it's my fault. But I feel like once you're able to take accountability and acknowledge your faults, you're able to work on them and you're able to grow, and that's what it's all about. Number 20. Growth begins outside of your comfort zone. If you're constantly in your comfort zone, you are never going to grow. You have to push yourself sometimes in uncomfortable situations to see some growth, to see some progress, to see some change. That's one thing. When I got to college, I was like, you know what, Stephanie, you're gonna push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You're gonna go for things that you've never gone for before, and you're gonna grow from them and you're gonna learn. And I am super grateful that I did that. And the last thing, number 21, ding ding ding, love yourself before you love anyone else. And that kind of goes back to putting yourself first. But it's one thing to put yourself first, and it's one thing to actually love yourself. And I'm not talking do a face mask here and there. I'm talking about loving yourself unconditionally, through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, through whatever. Just fully and 100% loving yourself, loving everything about you. You can't expect someone else to love you if you can't even love yourself for real. And I feel like once you take the time to love yourself, you start to learn so much about yourself. And then when you are, in a friendship or, in a relationship, you know how to tell that person, this is how I am, this is what I like, this is how I like to be shown love, whatever the case may be, because you love yourself. I feel like if you don't love yourself, it's gonna be super difficult to do that. I feel like overall you just live a much happier life. Like I said, everything kind of comes down to just this life being way too short. I'd rather spend the short years I have in this life loving myself than hating myself. You want to be your biggest fan, you want to be your biggest supporter, you want to be your own best friend. You can't do those things without loving yourself. So love yourself, girl. It's important. Self-love is the best love. I'm telling you, it really is. There's obviously way more than that, but I feel like those are the most important things I wanted to share. And those are the things that if I could go back and tell my 11-year-old self, those are the things I would tell myself. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.